Here we go. Well, good morning, everybody. I hope we are having an awesome day. I have my friend Stephanie here.
Hi.
I'm sure everybody knows of Stephanie Stitches. Stephanie, do you want to tell everybody just a little bit about you quickly?
Oh gosh. Wow. Hi, I'm Stephanie of Quilting with Stephanie Stitches. Uh, Met Russ through my channel and then got to meet him in person at the Georgia retreat last year, and he and I have become good friends. So he and I decided to do this sew along together. So excited to be here and sewing today with you.
And the sew along that she is talking about is Bumbleberry Pie.
Hmm.
It is a block of the month that you could also purchase as the full kit. I have a link in the description in the video below to one of my local shops that has the kit for a really good price. I've also noticed that they have the different months, and some months are sold out and some are not. So it's a little weird, but
Oh
maybe they
yeah.
just cut differently for each kit.
Hmm.
So yeah, we purchased the kits so that we could have all the fabric up front. We are working on the block of the month in the same intervals about as Nancy McNally, who is the pattern designer.
Yep.
So she's doing them once a month. We were a little late with last month over on Stephanie's channel, so that's why it was like just a couple weeks between that block and this one.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. The first block was they called them stair steps, and my blocks are over there, so I don't have them
Oh, that's okay. I've got
handy.
mine here. I'll show them. So we had two different colorways.
And they are so gorgeous. I'm loving these fabrics.
Yeah, I do too. I love them.
It's a
They're sewing
solid
up
with
nicely and
bubbles,
they're so beautiful.
and they sew up really nicely.
Yeah.
And then this month they're calling it Star and Pinwheel,
Yeah.
which is going to be this block,
Yeah, like grab the paper. Yeah.
as
Yeah,
which it looks a lot of fun, but it also looks like we have to pay a little bit of attention with
yeah,
fabric.
it's a fabric color placement. Yep. For sure.
I was like, this looks great. And I was like, wait, it's fabric color placement.
Yep.
And it's a fun way to do flying geese, I saw as we were cutting everything.
Interesting way. I
Yeah.
wasn't super excited about that part of it. And I should have probably looked ahead in the instructions before I cut, and I would have probably cut the flying geese a traditional way, but I'm going to give it a go.
Well,
Just
it
because I've
feels
done
like
flying geese this way before, and sometimes they don't always come out right. They can get wonky. So,
it feels
yeah.
a lot like the four at a time method.
Hmm.
And I'm sure they probably did it this way just because of the um different colors that we had to put on each of the geese.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I am thinking that the um traditional method probably would have been a little better. It would have been a little bit more fabric, and I haven't looked to see how much fabric we are going to have left at the end, so I have no idea if it's going to be
Yeah, I
if
don't
we
know
could have cut
either.
them traditionally.
Actually, when I was cutting my pieces this time, um, a lot of the colors we use this time are the same colors we used the first.
Yeah,
And we only added a color. And the blue I was looking at, I was like,
there's quite a bit of the
oh, I
blue.
didn't have like a big enough scrap from last time when we cut to use, so I had to cut another piece, but we only needed what, the one,
Yeah,
right?
one
Yeah,
square,
yeah. So, or two squares.
two squares.
Or so I was like, I had this big, huge piece of the blue fabric, and I'm like, how should I cut this to maximize in case, like, what if another week from now, like, there's strips or something we have to cut, right? So I was a little nervous on how to cut that.
At one point, I was planning on trying to go through each month and calculating the fabric requirements
Yeah.
and adding them up compared to what they said we needed for the month, but I haven't had time to do that.
No, but I did notice, like, on the background fabric, this time it said like a quarter yard.
Yeah.
So kind of that's what I hacked off, and I had a bunch left over. So I'm just keeping, like, you guys know I don't keep scraps, but I'm keeping all my scraps. until we get to the end, just in case there's like a little piece of something I need,
Oh yeah, it did say a quarter yard, and we needed like a just over 7 inch strip.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And I didn't use that whole strip either. So there's definitely some
yeah,
left
you're
over.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm just gonna, just in case, I'm just gonna save all my bits,
yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like I said, at one point I will have the time to do like throw everything in Excel to see how much it's gonna be. Because Excel is my friend.
I know you're way more organized than me.
I'm not saying that it's organized. It's just I want to know how much we have.
I'm just praying that we get to the end and we have enough.
Yeah. So we have a handful of folks in the chat. I understand it's not either of our normal times
Yeah.
or days. So I don't know how many people we're going to have, but we do have Melissa, who says the pattern looks fun.
Hi, it
We
is.
have Candace, who also says it's a cute pattern and says hi to us.
Hi,
We have
Candace.
Jeannie, who says hi.
Hi, Jeannie.
So yeah, it's great. So we can start sewing. And as we start, I'm going to ask you, Stephanie, how was your 4th of July? Because that was, a few hours ago.
Yeah, it wasn't very long ago. It was okay. I was telling Russ before we started, kind of overdid it a little bit. I got excited because my arm was feeling better. So I took off my bionic arm and um did some cleaning and things that I wanted to get done for the last week and did that. And now today I woke up and my arm is hurting a lot.
Oh,
So I probably shouldn't have done that. But it's like, if you hurt something and then all of a sudden you feel better, you're like, okay, now I can get all this stuff done, right?
I know. Well,
So
it's
I
almost
probably
like
should
when
not.
I had my arm surgery a few years ago, wrist surgery, and I was like, oh, everything should be all better now. I can, do this, do this. I'm like, that hurts now.
Yes.
You don't
So I'm gonna
realize
just
how
have to like
much.
kind of take it easy again for a few days and hope that it gets better. So yeah, I think there'll be a nap in my future today because I had a hard time sleeping last night because it was starting to hurt a little bit last night. So
Did you go out for any fireworks? Did you see any from your yard or something? Or how
we
do you?
saw some from our yard. Mm, we had a little cookout. So Keith made hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill, and then I made the sides to go with it. And we had one of his friends came over, and then my husband is a little bit of a pyro, I found out. Because he had bought some fireworks and there were some pretty big ones that he bought. I mean, so we had those. He only had enough for like 10 minutes worth of fireworks, which is plenty because, scaring our little kids and scaring our cat, that's enough.
Yeah.
But there was a gentleman in the neighborhood who he's a road over from us in like a cul-de-sac that he does a huge show every year. And usually the show lasts a little over 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he goes crazy. Now, he was supposed to have it last night, but what happened here is the rain came. So the rain came at like 7:30-ish and lasted till like 9:30, 9:45, which was okay because it stopped enough time for us to like shoot ours off and it was dark enough by then so we could see them. Um, but he didn't have very many. And he had advertised on our HOA Facebook group that he was going to have all these fireworks and it was going to be like a 2 hour show at least. So I suspect that um, maybe he had them out already because he gets the big fireworks, like the mortars. I suspect he may
Oh,
have had them out and they got wet because there was only one or two going off every like 10 or 15 minutes. And he stopped after like 45 minutes. So that would have been like our fireworks show. So yeah, like a bunch of people took their lawn chairs down there to go sit and watch his fireworks, and he just didn't have that many. So I think they may have gotten wet because it rained pretty significantly. Like we had a really heavy storm.
we had a good storm come through about probably probably about 6:30. I was laying on the couch and Riley was out there or in her bed, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden I just heard what sounded like rain all over. I'm like, I don't remember, like just a downpour. I was like, I don't remember expecting to rain today.
Oh,
So I asked my smart speaker, is it raining? And it said, of course, no. And I was like, this is strange. So I was like, well, it looks like it rained for like 2 seconds. And so I was like, okay, Riley, it'll probably be a little bit cooler, even though humid. So let's go for a walk. And uh, we head outside, and there's jets just going like airplane jets.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what the heck is going on? And my neighbor's outside, first of all, shocked that it's raining, but two, trying to figure out what's going on with the planes because we have a Air Force base, Air Reserve base a couple miles
Right.
away. And uh, it started raining harder,
Oh.
and the sun was shining. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Uh-huh.
But it it took about 10-15 minutes before it stopped raining. So Riley got her walk. And then I realized I know why the planes were out because we had a Braves game.
Oh, do they do a flyover?
Well, I would imagine they definitely wanted to do a flyover yesterday.
Yeah.
Good morning, Charlotte, and good morning, Katie Crafts.
Good morning. Yeah,
So,
I'll tell you what though, I was kind of glad that the neighbor who sets him up, because he usually does it so late, that it kind of didn't work out because I was so tired. By 10 o'clock, I was like ready for bed. And the kids don't want to go to bed until all the fireworks are done.
right.
So,
I have no idea what time Percy came from underneath. He was probably underneath the bed
yeah,
because that's where he usually goes when the fireworks or a storm happens or anything goes boom.
yeah.
Riley cared less. She was just laying on the couch, just like chilling. And I'm like, why can't all dogs be like this? Because I know my sister's dog was stressing out last night.
Oh, well, Riley knew that you were there to protect her, so.
Riley doesn't care about anything it's and when I dropped her off at daycare this morning, I said, okay, since I'm remembering, I need to schedule her for boarding. And the daycare manager goes, okay, when? I was like, the end of December. And she goes, you're scheduling early. It's like, well, I've had this planned since December. Well, technically it was January when I planned it, but
Yeah.
so she's already got her spot in daycare.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm sure that's a busy time of year, so I could see planning her that
Yeah,
early.
they always sell out for a lot of the holidays.
Yeah. Melissa said her dogs stress as well, but they were nicely medicated.
A coworker of mine has a dog that stresses with thunderstorms. And
Oh.
I think it was a week ago, we had a storm that was coming through. Didn't do
Hmm.
anything here, but it it affected them. And Puddles was like, make it stop, make it stop. And I was like, Riley doesn't care about any of this.
Yeah.
As long as she has her treats, she's fine.
Oh, that's good.
We did suggest that they get Puddles a thunder shirt.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those. Yep. That'd probably help with fireworks too, right?
Yeah, it's basically a giant hug.
Oh. Yeah, our cat's not afraid of thunderstorms, but he definitely hid last night from the fireworks, but they were so close and so loud. First I saw him was this morning.
We had to look to see if he ate the treats that I gave him
Mhm.
since I knew he was going to be hiding.
Yeah.
I really love this yellow, but I don't
Mhm.
call it sunshine, even though they say it's sunshine.
No, it's not quite sunshine, but it's not really mustardy either.
Yeah. It's a gorgeous yellow. I'm not going to deny
Yeah.
that. It's just, it doesn't feel sunshiny.
We're gonna rename it Goldenrod.
I'll accept that. Do you know the cool thing that you can do with goldenrod paper?
No.
Again, this is stupid channels that I watch. Actually, it's a science channel.
Okay.
Apparently, if you um, spray your hand with basically ammonia water, you can slap your wet hand on goldenrod paper and it turns red.
So
So
all I have to do is pee on my hand and then put it on the paper?
I mean, that's another way to say it. But yeah, basically, it's a almost like a little bit of a prank thing that you can do. You have a
Uh-huh.
wet hand and you slap it on a goldenrod
Uh,
paper, and it looks
gotcha.
like blood's all over the place now.
That's tricky, tricky. Now I want to try it though.
But it has to be genuine goldenrod paper, not just not yellow.
Not just okay. Amazon goldenrod paper.
There is a channel called Spangler Science, I believe it is, or Steve
Hmm.
Spangler Science. He's out of the Denver area,
Oh, okay.
and or he did a bit on the local news show on certain days, and that was one of the things that he had shown on the like during Halloween. The strange things that you learn
Yeah,
because you have no idea what other channels your friends watch.
that's a good one though. I want to try it now.
Yeah, it's just you got that telltale smell of ammonia around you when you do it. And you got to make sure, whoever you do it around isn't that fearful of the sight of blood, because if they think it's blood, they might.
Oh, yeah. Nobody in this family, that's for sure. Speaking of blood, we were watching the Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade yesterday.
Okay.
Like the whole family watched it.
Yeah.
And have you seen that movie? I'm sure you have.
Uh, Years ago, I don't remember details probably, but
Okay.
it's not like you're going to spoil anything.
So the girl that stars in it, that like she was like the object of Indy's affection
Yep.
and her and the dad's affection. So my kids were watching that, and they're just the oldest two are old enough now to understand a little bit what that means.
Yeah.
And they're like, that hussy. It was the funniest thing. And uh, my daughter was like, what's wrong with that lady? She has no respect for herself. I don't know why the blood made me think of that because there's blood and guts in that movie. So
I just remember
uh,
as a kid, everybody was like, in some of those videos, I'm like, they let people do things like that. I thought that was illegal. Good morning, Sue, who says this is a happy surprise.
Hi, Sue. I hope all of you out there had a really good 4th of July.
Yeah, for me, it was basically quiet. I know there was a couple folks in the neighborhood, the people across the way here, and the people on across from the people behind us. I know
Mhm.
they did fireworks last night, but again, because it was a little wet, it seemed like there wasn't as much energy in the fireworks as would have been
Gotcha.
normal.
Are they legal in Georgia then?
They, I don't think they're illegal, but I don't know what the fireworks rules are because you can buy them here, but
Okay,
I think that there's limits as to what you're allowed to buy.
gotcha. So for years you could buy them in Ohio, but you couldn't set them off here. So
That's
that was that
interesting.
was interesting. And they finally changed the law a couple of years ago. So now everybody sets them off, right? But the cities were like, well, we can't have this because there's people setting fireworks off all hours of the day and night throughout the whole year. People do it, right?
Yeah,
So now they restrict it to certain holidays that you can do it, like New Year's, 4th of July, I think Labor Day, and there's a couple other ones I can't remember.
that
But
might be what our law is because you only see the fireworks stuff out at certain times a year, unlike South Carolina, which has you can buy fireworks year round and set
oh,
them off
okay.
back
Well, you
in.
can still buy them year round here too, but they restrict what days you can use them. So, several days before the 4th here, people were already starting to set them off. And Henry, our youngest,
Yeah.
he loves them, but they're a little too loud for him, so we got him the ear protection
Yep.
things. And last night he put the ear protection things on, and it like a bunch of people, our neighbors 2 doors down from us and across the street from us and us all had stuff kind of going at the same time. And then everybody's kind of stopped, right? Well, because he had the ear things on, he's talking super loud. So it was like a pin, you could hear a pin drop. Like the whole neighborhood was quiet for like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. And he's like, that was cool. And he's like, I want those people to put up more ones that are sparky because there was ones that were like real, I don't know what the word is, but like they exploded a lot, so they made a lot of sparks.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, Daddy, tell them to do more. And I'm like, shh. Like he doesn't need to tell them because they can hear you. But he was so loud, but it was the cutest thing ever. We were just dying laughing at him because he didn't realize how loud he was.
I do miss the fireworks show back where my sister lives that they do every year.
Yeah.
It's always been a lot of fun. It's a giant show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was one year the town didn't have the money to put it on,
Mm-hmm.
so they canceled it, and the uproar that happened.
Oh no.
And they managed to get sponsors going forward to make sure that they never it didn't have a year on it. But now,
Okay.
I'm never up there for the holiday, so I don't get to see it anymore.
Yeah. Well, maybe one
And
year you can go up there.
the fun thing though is when we were staying at my grandmother's, we could walk to the show.
Oh,
I mean, most of the town walked there because there's it's a town. It's not like they have a lot of parking at the park.
okay, yeah.
And if you did park, it would take you probably an hour and a half to get home or to get from the park back into the main road.
Yeah, ouch, that's a long
So
time.
because of the sheer quantity of people. So
Yeah.
we would always walk there, and we would get there early enough so that we avoided having to pay the $10 admittance fee.
Oh, okay.
Because, if you were already behind if you're already back there before the stuff started, you didn't have to worry
You didn't
about
have to
paying the
pay.
fee.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that was always, the biggest when is the fireworks going to start? Isn't it dark yet? Isn't it dark yet? And then it would slow,
Yeah.
it just slowly get darker and darker. So it's like, why aren't we dark yet? It's like 9:30.
That sounds exactly what kids say when they're waiting for fireworks.
And we love those little glow in the dark sticks.
Oh, yeah, glow sticks are great.
And we were always upset that they only lasted like an hour.
But they're good for parents too, I'll tell you. They're not just made for kids because that way we can see our kids where they're at in the dark.
Until everybody has it.
Yeah.
Katie Kraft says 1 year the pyrotechnic companies had their annual get together in a neighboring town. Talk about an amazing display. Oh,
Oh,
that sounds
wow.
fun.
That's awesome. She also said that they had fireworks going off till 3 a.m. Oof.
Oh, wow. Good morning, John from Guys Craft 2. How are you doing?
Hi, John.
I heard he's bought more fabric
Oh,
for your pattern, the picnic, pinwheel picnic.
oh,
Picnic
cool.
pinwheel.
Nice. I
I
can't
heard a
wait to.
rumor it might be Christmassy that he's doing.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be a nice, quick gift to make out of Christmas fabric.
He's trying to con me with Filibertos to get me to go to QuiltCon in Phoenix.
Oh, John, I I love Filbertos too. Yum.
I asked how close the nearest Filibertos is to the QuiltCon hotels.
Oh, we could find one. We could find one. I know there's one by South Mountain, which isn't too far from downtown. If it's still there. It's been a long time. He said, I'm very excited about it now to wait for the postal service. I can't wait to see what you got. That's fun. As a pattern designer, it's really fun to see what people pick to do your pattern in. So,
And as a pattern consumer, it's always fun to see the other ways that people vision a pattern.
vision and pattern. Yeah. Yeah. And Pinwheel Picnic is really a quick sew up. So it's
Yeah,
been fun to see how many people finished it and what patterns or what fabrics they picked. So,
I just need to get the borders on mine.
yeah. I need to quilt mine.
Yeah, let's not discuss how many quilts I have sitting on the long arm list.
We will not, as long as we don't discuss how many I have. I am quite sure I probably have more than you because it's embarrassing. I won't even say the number anymore.
In my defense, I have a lot of table runners.
Yeah, well, we did so many from Fort Worth in that, right? And then you made all those for your sister.
Yeah, well, the good thing about the ones for Fran was they didn't have to be quilted, so
Okay.
that made those a lot simpler.
Yeah, that made it easier. Yeah.
John says they opened up a new one right down the street from his house in the compound, so less than 5 minutes.
Oh, nice.
We'll get Russ to Filiberto's for sure.
We need some of those fried tacos. Yum. Or a breakfast burrito.
The breakfast burritos are,
Oh, so good.
that's what I was first introduced to. So I'm like, that's all I want from Filiberto's.
The the first time that we went out, that I took my husband out to Arizona, after I had moved back here, he's like, "What is this that you keep talking about? This breakfast burrito?" He didn't get it, and then he tried it, and he's like, "Okay, I get it." So he was, and then we were out there for like a little over a week, and he goes, "Can we go there again before we leave?" I was like, "Yep." And you can't replicate them; they just don't taste as good.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. They must put crack in it or something, get you
I
addicted.
mean, it's not like they can put MSG, so they got to find something.
Thanks, Katie Crash. She said Pinwheel Picnic is a fun pattern.
It is.
Thank you.
John was telling me last night he didn't realize how many patterns you had in your shop.
Oh, yeah, I have a few now, and in process of writing. Well, I just wrote another one, but that's going to come out in the project box, and then
Which I have pre-ordered.
I know you have, and then and that one will go in my shop after like all the projects go out. But
Yeah.
and then I have the one for the sew along that starts in August coming out. So yeah,
Which I marked blue.
I know I saw that. I knew you would. Hi, Joy T. She said, "Good morning, Russ and Stephanie."
Katie
Katie
Craft
Crash
says a
said,
breakfast burrito
"Yeah,
smothered with good green chili is the best.
I do like green chili, but not on a breakfast burrito."
I okay. First of all, Taco Bell's breakfast now is not as good as it was when they first were pre-introducing it,
Hmm.
but they have now released a breakfast sauce packet, which is really good.
Oh, I have not had Taco Bell in years. Once you live in Arizona, you can't eat that stuff.
Yeah. Well, Arizona was one of the first test markets for Taco Bell breakfast.
Oh, okay.
And when I would visit David, I was like, wait, they have Taco Bell breakfast there. And he's like, what? And I would go, I would fly in on a Tuesday,
Hmm.
and Wednesday he would still work because, and this is for Thanksgiving. So he would still work on Wednesday. I would get up in the morning and walk to Taco Bell because the Taco Bell wasn't that far away
Hmm.
and get breakfast there. And that was when, like I said, it was still good. And then I would come home and uh, take a nap. And then by the time that I woke up, I would be, mostly converted to Arizona time.
Gotcha.
And of course, every other day we would go to Filiberto's for breakfast until the day that he wanted Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
Oh, did he live in Phoenix?
Yeah, yeah. Well, his family lives in Mesa.
Oh, that's okay. That's where I lived.
So, but he lived on the west side
Okay.
of Phoenix. I think he I think he wasn't too far from the 202.
Okay. Yeah.
He was basically almost as far west as you can be without losing civilization.
Oh.
Melissa says she marked blue as well.
Ah,
Oh, that's kind of where I would think I was going. I sent the screenshots of the two color combinations to David,
oh, okay.
and he said blue. I was like,
Yeah,
well,
he voted as well, and he put blue.
I was like, well, you need to vote, and he did say that he voted as well.
Yeah, he did.
So I have my center pinwheel done,
Oh, nice. Oh, cute.
assuming I did the color. Yeah, I did the colors correctly. So
They
now
look
the
pretty
hard
sweet.
part of the flying geese and making sure the colors go correctly.
Yeah. Katie Kraft said, funny, the best smothered breakfast burritos from a Jewish deli down the street from them. That's funny. So how long ago did he live off the 202? Because the 202 is not in no man's land anymore. It was
uh,
at one point. That was like the end of the line for Phoenix, but it's not anymore.
this was probably a good 10 years ago.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
even longer, probably. Because he lived over that way. I think it was like 84th Street was really what he lived off of, and
Mm.
right at 10, Interstate 10. And then he ended up selling that condo, and he moved somewhere just up the center interstate, whichever one that was.
Okay.
And he lived there for a few years. Again, both of them were walking distance to a Taco Bell. The second one was walking distance to a QT.
Oh, I miss QT. Those are nice.
The QT here
Hmm.
sucks.
Oh,
Well,
we don't
the
have
one
any here.
closest to my house, since
Yeah.
they've changed management, has been not so great.
Mm. The other thing I miss is that, and maybe you know this, but and maybe you have it down there. I don't know. We don't have it here. Is a Sprouts grocery store.
We do have a Sprouts here.
Oh, do you? Yeah, we don't have any.
I've not been to it.
All right. Did I make that the right way? Yes. So here's a pinwheel, and then
Ooh,
I have my flying geese together too.
I'm
You
working
have
on.
to trim them down. They come out a little big.
Oh, that's handy to know.
Yeah. Because I was like, why aren't they the right, they're not the right size. But then I read the instructions. Read instructions. It doesn't say to trim down, but it says the size. So Melissa says she has the Sprouts and loves it. John said
Sprouts
no,
just
we have
Whole
the
Foods.
303. Sorry, go ahead.
Isn't it just Whole Foods? Is Sprouts?
It's similar to Whole Foods, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were owned by Whole Foods.
Yeah, we don't have a Whole Foods here either. We had one, but it went out of business during the pandemic. So we don't have any of those. We do have Trader Joe's, which I like.
Oh,
Um,
I love me Trader Joe's orange chicken.
yeah, we buy a lot of their like frozen stuff like that. Like they have like a teriyaki chicken and they have like fried rice and stuff like that. It's nice to make a quick meal,
Yeah.
for the family. So I like them a lot.
I
All
introduced
left.
mom to Trader Joe's orange chicken one of my visits,
Mhm.
and she goes, "Okay, we need to go to Trader Joe's," and I'm like, "I have to get on a plane today." But she made me bring her to Trader Joe's, and
That's funny.
I don't know how I managed to get to the plane, but I got the plane on time.
Oh, that's good. Guys, Criteria John said now we have the 303 and that's going gangbusters. Yeah, there's the 101, 202, and 303. So it's funny because my grandparents, they retired out there in Sun City West.
Which is where John
And
lives.
oh, really? Okay. So once you got off of the loop out there, it was a while to get to Sun City and Sun City West, and there was nothing in between. There was a QT right when you got off the freeway. But I remember when I was younger, when I visited them before I moved out there, like it felt like from the airport when they picked you up that you drove and drove and drove. And now the city has basically melded into, there's no space between Phoenix and Sun City West. It's just like a continuation. So it's kind of interesting to
Well,
see how that's grown.
that's what it feels like with everything in Phoenix, that
Yeah.
there's no real distinguishing factor between, Phoenix and that area north. I've lost the town names.
Um, Gosh, I have two, and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Basically everything that's Phoenix Metro is considered Phoenix to me.
Yeah,
Even if
yeah,
it's Mesa or those other towns that are just Phoenix burbs.
yeah. Well, when I lived out there,
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, yeah. Well, you have Paradise Valley and Scottsdale, and yeah, Peoria. That's on the west side.
Yeah.
But when I lived out there in Mesa, the loop that goes around Mesa, the freeway, didn't wasn't a complete loop. And this last time I went out to visit, which has now been several years, it was a complete loop, and there was like when you got to like past a certain road, there's a road out there called Sussman. Once you got kind of past that, it was like farms and stuff, and now it's like all homes, and it's really strange to go back and see how much they've built, like outwards. There's a city out east of Mesa that we called AJ, but it's Apache Junction.
Uh-huh.
And after that road that I was just saying to AJ, there was really like nothing but like farms and stuff. And now it's all built, so it's just strange to see it.
One of the trips out there, he took me to Crater Lake,
Okay, yeah.
and there was a couple like little ghost towns on the way there and stuff, and windy roads and one lane bridges.
Yeah.
Little disorienting at times.
One of these days I'll get back out there. So are you going to QuiltCon? Or is John just trying to talk you into it?
I think it's a little bit of both. I am like right now it's unofficially because I don't have a hotel.
Gotcha.
It looks like the QuiltCon hotels may not have been opened up yet
Oh, okay.
because I can't afford $500 a night for 5 nights or 4 nights, how many nights it would be.
Yeah.
And definitely am not driving that distance
No.
in order to get basically have my vehicle to drive. So I have to figure things out. David has mentioned a couple times about being interested in going, but at the same time, it's like you canceled QuiltCon like twice on me now.
Yeah. Sorry, David, we love you, but you're not reliable.
I mean, I'm sure because it's Phoenix, he would be more apt because
Yeah.
he's got family there and his family mostly loves me too. So
No, that's good.
he's going to watch this on the replay, call me up and yell at me.
All good things, all good things. Oh, that's looking good so far. Just
Oh,
got to add the top and bottom. I got to put the squares on them.
I'm trimming dog ears off of the flying geese so that I can
You know
put
what I did?
that
I
on.
trimmed them off first, and then I realized that I had to like trim the whole thing to make it the size they wanted, and I was like, well, that was silly. That was a waste of time.
As I hear that as I just did my last one. So now I just got to figure out which ones get which color of the other side.
Yeah. Hi, Jan. Good to see you.
Hey, Jan. Hey, yellow and orange get this color, and purple and pink get the other color.
Trying to think of the name. John said Peoria, but I'm trying to think of the name. There's a city that's sort of started to get popular when I left Arizona. That was north of the 101 loop, like you're going towards Flagstaff or Sedona. Can't think
Uh,
of the
is
city.
it where John just moved to? Um, Payson,
No, not Payson.
not
Mm-mm.
Payson. Okay, Payson was really nice.
Payson's beautiful. Yeah. My parents had a little cabin that they'd go up to when it was hot in the summer when they lived out there. So they technically still have a house out there, but they're moving. So
I forget why we went up during one of my trips there, but David did drag me up to Payson.
mm, yeah, it's beautiful.
I just remember it being so much cooler.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The first time we drove through there, it must have been just the right season where you rolled down the windows and you could smell the pine trees. It
Oh,
was amazing. And then where I lived in Mesa, I wasn't too far from where there was like an orange farm. So when the orange blossoms were in bloom, I purposely went out of my way to go home, take a different route so I could roll down my windows and smell the orange blossoms. They were so good.
David's aunt has orange trees in their backyard,
Oh, do they? Yeah, does he? She.
and it was odd to see oranges growing somewhere because I've never seen an orange on a tree.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
And it was Thanksgiving time too. So it was like, where I live, like, wintertime, they don't have any fruits out and everything, whereas it's still prime growing season in Phoenix.
Yep. No, I had a lemon tree and an orange tree in my yard, and I'd harvest them in like February and March. And then my grandparents, when they were living, they had my grandfather was an avid like gardener, and he had three different varieties of oranges, and he had grapefruit, two grapefruit trees, and pomegranate, and then some grapes. He would grow grapes and he would dry them in the sun, make them raisins.
Oh,
Best raisins you ever had?
Mom was just proud to have grown a lemon shrub because it never got to be a tree from
Gotcha.
a lemon seed.
Nice. I didn't start mine from a seed. I had a tree put in my yard when I moved there. So,
It
but
got
I
to
did get a lot of
be
lemons.
after however many years she had it, it got to be like 3 feet tall. So however
Hmm.
long it took to get that old. And then uh she ended up moving up north and it did not like the northern temperatures.
Oh yeah. Jan says, Stephanie, I saw Corey Yoder's new fabric line. I must have, right? It's so pretty.
I'm trying to remember which fabric line this is.
It's not any that are out yet. She's talking about one that's upcoming because we were talking about it the other day on the So Day.
Oh,
It's
and I
gonna
haven't gone
be,
and Googled it yet. Okay.
yeah, it's called Callie and Co. It's all like little tiny ditzy flowers
Oh,
in like her sherbety colors that Corey's
uh-huh.
kind of famous for. So yeah.
I do like her color palettes.
Hmm. I'm getting all these emails today. I don't know if you've gotten them too, like sale, sale. Like, no, I'm not looking because I don't need to spend any money. I have too much fabric.
I did fall for one.
Did you?
Uh, and it's mostly because I love this item and it's too small. The Martelli sewing machine pad that goes underneath your
Oh,
machine.
oh yeah. Hmm.
They had a sale for 40% off.
Oh, nice.
So, but it had a mandatory $25 shipping fee
Oh, wow.
because of the dimensions. I get it.
Hmm.
So I was like, well, it's still cheaper by like $40.
Oh, okay. So you saved,
I still
you still
saved 40
saved.
bucks,
Yeah.
but I mean, the amount I saved, half of it went back to shipping.
Yeah.
But like I said, it still would have cost me 40
But it would
bucks
have cost
more.
you the $40 plus the shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
So
still did good.
yeah, so I bought that because I bought the pad that's underneath this machine right now,
Hmm.
uh, back at the end of the year, because
Hmm.
David was saying that my side camera
Hmm.
was vibrating every time that I would start sewing.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, well, I don't want to sew that much slower. And I remembered hearing about that. So I got a deal for this size off of one of the other sites that sell it. And ended up I like it, but my feet on my sewing table are just barely touching the ground.
Um, yeah.
Karen says, good morning, all late as usual. Again, nobody's ever late. You're just perfectly on time.
Hi, Karen. Good to see you.
And she's asking, what fabric line are we using? The fabric line is called Bumbleberries from Lewis and Irene.
Mm.
This is a kit that we had purchased with the pattern that came. So it can be a block of a month or you can purchase it as a kit.
I was gonna say that I have one of those Martelli mats as well. Um, but I have my machine down in a cabinet that it was made for. But I take it on retreats because you know a lot of the retreat tables are,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I was like, I need my mat at the Georgia retreat.
Hmm.
So
So
this
I
mat
have
is
one too,
now
and I
going
love
to the
them.
Georgia retreat.
Yeah.
Your quarter of an inch must be a little bit smaller than my quarter of an inch because I'm barely cutting off slivers.
Oh, really? Okay. This fabric is so pretty. I'm so glad that you were like, "Hey, how about this?" That was very good enabling.
Speaking of enabling,
Hmm.
last week during Steven's pop-up sew day, after I had gotten done with what I was planning on sewing,
Hmm.
I took my machine apart to
Okay.
clean the fuzzies out, and I used these things
Oh, I love those.
to clean everything out. And I was like, well, everything is clean.
Hmm.
And Steven basically enabled me to buy a blower.
Oh, cool.
And it arrived on Monday or Tuesday. And I charged it up because it's a rechargeable blower. And I brought it down here yesterday
Hmm.
and start blowing out my machine. And so many fuzzies. I was like, I thought I got this thing pretty clean.
Oh, wow, really?
But yeah, there was just so many more fuzzies that I did not get to.
Hmm. Maybe I will have to try one. I have not done that yet.
Because like I said, I cleaned this thing out pretty good with the cleaning brushes.
Hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, there can't be that much in here. Oh, yes, there was. So I'm learning if we do more flying geese this method, I need to cut slightly bigger.
Okay, I'm learning that if we have more flying geese this method, that I'm gonna change them to
You're going to
regular
change the
flying geese.
method.
I don't like this way of doing it. I feel like it was too easy to make them go
They're,
wonky.
yeah, a lot of mine are slightly wonky.
Yeah, I mean, I got them okay, but I feel like they made it harder than it need to be, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think that's what I'm going to have to do when we hang up this morning, afternoon,
Mhm.
whatever time we make it done. I'm going to add up all of the fabric cuts and I'll let you know how much we might have to spare.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Because as much waste as the traditional method is, it's so much easier.
Yeah, so much easier. This just made me nervous that I was gonna like stretch those triangles or like stuff wasn't gonna come out right or yeah.
Okay, now I can start putting my blocks together.
Hmm. All right, let's see.
Um,
Here's one.
I goofed all of my flying geese somehow. I have no idea how.
You what?
All my flying geese are backwards.
Oh,
Like they're backwards.
oh goodness.
So yeah, I definitely need to figure out how much extra math we have because
So it might be easier instead of taking apart your flying geese, take apart your pinwheel.
and reverse my pinwheel.
Reverse your pinwheel because if you reverse your flying geese, you're gonna have those triangles that are bias cut and they're gonna
No,
get
what I was
stretchy.
thinking is do the math and see how much extra we have, and I might be able to cut more flying geese.
Oh, well, that'll work too.
That's my plan. I have no idea how I got them backwards.
See, I would do it the cheater's way and just take the pinwheel and turn it around.
I mean, there's that too. What's
Yeah.
the end result supposed to look like?
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
sure.
would never know if I flip the pinwheels because,
I was gonna say it's such a colorful quilt. I don't think you'd be able to tell.
well, considering where they are, they're like center corner top. You
Yeah,
definitely would never notice.
yeah.
So if I don't have enough, I'll cut the pin or take the pinwheel apart.
That's funny.
This is what happens when we go live.
I'm just giving your Jack a chance to get some exercise.
I'm still just sitting here trying to figure out how I managed. I bet I put the long side of the flying geese upside down.
Oh, that could be. Yep.
I bet that's what I did, not mentally thinking, which means I need to start looking more at the pictures of the pattern because I would have done this correctly if I had looked at the pictures of the pattern.
Oh. Oh, John said, have a great day, guys. Time for coffee and donuts. Nice.
See you, John.
Hi, Mona. She said,
Oh,
morning early out here.
yes, it is early out there. Halfway why I was surprised to see John.
Yeah, me too. So I have both of mine done.
You have yours done. I have a hot mess.
It's not a hot mess. I think you should just take the pinwheel apart.
That's probably what I'm going to do. It's just going to take me longer than a couple minutes to take the pinwheels apart.
Yeah.
And
I
I
just think
have,
that'll be the
I have
easiest.
a perfect point in the center of my pinwheel.
You do. That looks amazing, which means you can replicate it when you take it apart and do it again.
Oh, that's hysterical.
That is funny.
I I can't make this stuff up.
Well, at least you did them all like the wrong way.
Yeah,
And
I
so
did them all the wrong way.
you didn't
So
just do like
whichever
one
method
flying geese from each block wrong, right?
yeah, all of
Because
them are
that's
done
easy to
wrong.
change. Yeah, that's easy to change then.
And they're all done wrong the same way. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It's easier to change the pinwheel. But like I said, if I have enough fabric, I think I'm gonna just remake these flying geese because
yeah,
some of these they were just a little slightly smaller than what I would expect it because they're
yeah,
supposed to be uh they're supposed to be approximately this size, and if you see the
yeah,
bottom, I'm a
yeah.
little short. So
I had one like that that on the one edge was a little short, and I just kind of zhuzhed it into the,
yeah, I was
you
gonna
know,
zhuzh it into it, but
yeah, to the seam allowance, and it came. And my blocks are both measuring the right size, so I'm not worried about
it's like poor Russ.
it.
It's not the first time I've goofed on the live. It won't be the last.
It's okay.
You get the real stuff here, and like I said, I own up to it.
Yeah.
I appreciate Stephanie's idea because that is a lot easier than trying to fix it another way. So if I don't remake Flying Geese, that's what I'm going to do is switch the pinwheels, and my pinwheels are just going to blow wind the opposite direction of yours. They'll be like cancel each other out.
That's all right. They're Australian pinwheels. They go the opposite direction.
Ah, you know that's a myth about the toilet direction, right?
I know.
Okay. I mean, it's quote unquote true, but it's that I was in a uh, trivia day at work, and
Mhm.
one of the questions was about the Coriolis effect, how it causes toilets to swirl which direction. I was like, the Coriolis effect has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's the jets because I have three toilets in my house, and two of them are a different direction than the third.
Yeah. Kathleen said, not a goof, a design choice. That's right.
Design
Mhm.
choice. I like that too
Yep.
because it kind of works. It works differently if I leave it that way.
Hey, that means that your quilt will be a little bit more unique from everybody else that's making this. So,
Exactly.
and that's kind of fun.
Good for me to laugh at myself. I do stupid things all the time. I mean, if you can't laugh with yourself, that's a problem. So,
Yep.
and
So what do
it's
you got
not
going on tomorrow on your channel?
It's not the end of the world, so I'm not worried about it. So tomorrow, what do I? Oh, Fort Worth Fabric Studio.
Whoa.
I saw you sew up the first block,
Hmm.
so I know what to do. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't cut the fabric yet,
That's okay.
which I have today to cut it, so I'm
Yeah.
good. And I did know from your first video that I need to be a little bit careful cutting, I'm assuming,
Pros.
pro fabric.
Yes, I actually just received my replacement fabric. So I'm going to be sewing here at home with you because I need to do my other stars.
Ah, nice.
So, yeah,
So
that was a
I'm going to
big
be
cookie.
working on that tomorrow. And then Sunday is my weekly vlog with all the shenanigans of this week. Um, I think I'm going to take a quick picture of this so I can put it in my weekly vlog. Just say, we all
Oof.
goof. It's
Yep.
fine to goof. It's hysterical. It's awesome and that.
Except for
And
Stephanie, who's practically perfect in every way.
I mean,
Just
yeah, we
kidding.
know that.
I'm just
And the
kidding.
other exciting thing is I have Monday and Tuesday off.
Yay.
Except I have to log into work for a few minutes on Tuesday, but
Yeah.
that's because the dumpster fire of a project is almost over.
Oh, that's good.
And what do you have going on? I saw you have a couple things scheduled coming up.
Yeah, tomorrow on Saturdays with Steph, I'm going to um Art East just released a free pattern for everybody. You can make it into like a wall hanging or a pillow or something. And it's a whale. And I was like, it's called, I love the name. It's called There She Blows. So I linked the link in my live for tomorrow so people can go download it. But I thought that goes really perfect with my going coastal quilt, so I'll just make a pillow to go with it.
Oh,
And I
nice.
thought I'm going to sew that tomorrow. And I think it's really cool that they're doing that because there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't know if I want to try one of their patterns because I know they're intimidating a little bit because they've got a lot of pieces. But once you start putting it together, it's so much fun to see those animals come out. And so I thought that was cool that they were doing that. And so I'm going to sew that tomorrow on my channel.
I should print it out and maybe run to the fabric shop today and say, I need some fabric.
Yeah, that would be fun. If you do that and you want to join me, you can.
Ooh, well, we'll see how far I get fixing this.
All right.
But I probably should get food first. And Riley's at daycare, so there's that.
Oh, so you have some time to go to the fabric
I
shop.
have a little bit of time to go to the fabric shop as long as I make sure I have everything cut for tomorrow.
Nice. So I joined this like murder mystery sew along this year. And I think I showed it on my channel earlier this year. I bought all this grunge for it, right? I was gonna do what was that? The whole quilt in grunge. And as we've progressed through the blocks, I hate it. Like the latest block is an FPP block, which there's no problem with that, but it looks like a stormtrooper's face.
Oh,
And it doesn't go with any of the other blocks. Like there's arrows, and then the very first block we did was pretty, but after that, I haven't liked any of it. So I decided that I'm gonna just not do any more of those and use the grunge for other things. So I'm gonna pull from that grunge to make the whale.
that a grungy whale looks like it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, that's what I used in the quilts. The Going Coastal quilt is grunge,
Ah,
but I have different colors of blues because it was like this murder mystery thing was like based in Greece, so you had to have like four different colors of blues. So I was like, oh, I'll just use those blues and repurpose them.
that will be fun. And
Yeah,
grunge goes with grunge, so
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Kathleen is asking what is FPP?
Oh, sorry, foundation paper piecing. I forget that some people don't know that, and I apologize. I should not just assume that. So it's when you sew on paper, um, and I do like FPP. That's not the issue. It's just the block. And I didn't see it until other people were posting in because you have a private Facebook group,
Yeah.
and I hadn't made the block yet. And I was like, I can't unsee this, and I hate it. And it's not because I don't like Star Wars. I just was like, it doesn't go with any of the other blocks. And I don't feel like it's going to be a cohesive quilt. Looking at the colors they suggested for each block, they just, nothing fits. So I'm like, I'm kind of scrapping that project.
And then at least with you being part of the Facebook group, you can see what the end result is going to be.
Yeah. And if I
And
end up
then,
liking it, later, then I have all the patterns. I can go back and do it, but I just not liking it.
That's that's always been my fear with mystery quilts because I'm like,
Yeah.
is it gonna work? Or especially if they
Yeah.
tell you, you need a light, a medium, a dark. I did a mystery quilt. It was a New Year's one a couple years ago, and they said light,
Mm.
medium, dark. And I bought a light, medium, dark, and I did not like where they ended up going. So I still haven't
Yeah.
done that, finished it.
Yeah, there was Ellen from the Wednesday So Days
Uh-huh.
who lives here in Ohio. She was talking about this mystery thing for a long time from I think it's called the Modern Quilt Studio or something like that, and it was a transparency quilt. And but it was a mystery. So I was like, I don't know if I want to get involved in another mystery, but it sounded cool. Now when she finished it, I was like, oh, that's cool. So I went and bought it. But they started a new one and it's called the Lighthouse Mystery. And lighthouses right up my alley.
Yeah.
So I thought about it, but she's shown a couple of the blocks and I'm glad I didn't do it because so far I don't like them. So it's so tough because you want to do these things, but then I hate to like waste the time
Or
doing
waste
things
of
that I
fabric
don't enjoy
because
and the
yeah.
fabric, yeah, especially grunge.
Yeah, it's like I said, I love the idea of mystery, but it bothers me so much if I don't have enough of a concept of what it's going to be.
Yeah, yeah.
That especially if I have to pick my own fabrics. If somebody says, here's a kit, you can buy one of these like 5 kits for the mystery, and
Mhm.
I know it's gonna be good. I'm gonna just say, that puzzle mystery people. That
Yeah.
you're going to get a quality quilt. The same thing
Oh,
with
sure.
the Saturday
Well, same.
Sanctuary at my local quilt shop. I
Yeah,
know a couple of fabrics, but I know they're going to choose it in a way that's going to be great. If
yeah.
I
And like
told
Fort Worth,
I need
right?
3 colors and I have no idea how it's going to work, there's
Yeah,
not much that you're going to be able to come up with.
yeah. Like Fort Worth, they do that too, and they do a good job of
Yeah.
their mystery quilts. They always come together so nicely. But this is the second time now that I've done like a mystery from a like kind of a smaller company, and I haven't liked it. So I don't think I'm going to do those anymore.
Well, the I guess the thing is with a smaller company mystery, are you still picking your own fabrics or are you using colors that they suggest?
Well, you pick your own fabrics because they don't provide fabric kits, but they give you a color guide and um they had it in solids, but I like
Okay.
perfectly matched it. Like I took my grunge color card and I perfectly matched them. So it's all the colors that they suggested. It's
Okay.
just the blocks don't go together. I'm like, I can't
Okay.
do this. My brain can't put this stuff together.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the block itself works within itself, but how they would
Yes.
come together as a
Yeah. So like this was block one, and I thought it looked really cute.
oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but then there's like the next one was like arrows with three different colors of blues. And then there's in that FPP one that I said like it looked like a mask, like a stormtrooper
Uh-huh.
mask. And I'm like, and then one month there was an applique block, but they did have an alternative if you don't want to do applique, but it was none of it goes together. And I'm like, I can't waste any more fabric on this project. So I have two little orphan blocks, so I might put them in something because they're kind of cute.
Yeah, I do like those, or you can make a
Yeah.
few more of those, make, a larger pillow size block.
That's what I was thinking. I thought maybe I'd make two more of these and just turn them into a pillow, like do four of them.
So,
But yeah. So,
so yeah, I think we should start to wrap it up here. We've
okay.
talked about what we have coming up on our channels.
Yeah.
And we hope that you are able to give everybody in the YouTube world a little bit of extra love on this holiday weekend. A lot of us have been doing surprise lives and extended viewing for you so that you can have a little bit of extra time for us. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.